Hey everyone, Tankenstein here, and welcome to Spaded. In this episode, I'll be showcasing the FW190 A-5 U2. This is a currently ranked 3 battle rating 4.0 fighter in the German Air Force's tech tree, and is currently an optionally unlocked vehicle sitting in the same folder as the FW190 A4, which makes this perfect for Spaded. As you might know, what I like to do is bring these through at least 3 matches, first match being fully stock, second match being about halfway spaded, and the third match being fully spaded, so you can see what this thing is like, again, from stock to spaded, and if you want to get it in the first place and possibly fully spaded. Now with that said, this is a little bit different from the A4, being that again, this is in the same folder. It's definitely worthwhile to make note of the differences. First and foremost is the fact that the A5 has a much lighter armament in that this only has two 20mm MG151 cannons with 500 rounds in total, whereas the FW190 A4 has two MG17 machine guns, two MG FFM cannons, and two MG151 20mm cannons on top of those. So really, it has around 2 times the 1 second burst mass of the FW190 A5. However, of course, the MG151 cannons are by far the best of the weapons that the FW190 has access to, and thus you're not really losing out on too much. Otherwise, the FW190 A5 is in turn lighter than the A4, and thus has a higher top speed, better turn time, and a slightly better rate of climb. It also, of course, features secondary loadout, including up to 500 kilogram bombs, or rather a single 500 kilogram bomb, and also incendiaries or the Waffengranaten 21 rockets, which are basically German Tiny Tims. So that being said, let's get into a few matches, see what we could do here with the FW190 A5, and see if it's worth it from stock to spaded. That said, let's get into it. So, here we are, fully stock with the A5 U2. I'm going to be going after this PE8. Not sure if I'm going to have nearly enough firepower to bring this... He was spontaneously disassembled. If you guys have ever played KSP, you know what I mean. That being said, this vehicle is, thus far, not bad. Its overall performance is a touch lacking. You know, at 4.0 BR, this is by no means the quickest. You know, like most P51s are a bit quicker than this. I mean, it's only slightly quicker than the standard A4, so you're probably not even going to notice it, at least when you're fully stock. Let's see what we could do versus this guy. Okay, he's going to go for me. Drop a little bit, and we have ourselves some severe damage, which is... perfect in my opinion. That to me counts as a kill, and that thing, even just diving with half a wing off, it's still going to be much faster than I could ever be, so I'm going to leave him be. But we only use up 20 rounds of ammo for that. But what I was saying before, I think in the intro, is that this vehicle does have a lesser armament compared to the A4, a noticeably lesser armament. And so what happens is that I'm not going to be able to get kills typically as quickly with this vehicle as I might otherwise want to. Ooh, that was a bit ugly. Would be better if my performance was a bit better, but we're going to dive down here, see what we can do. This guy's just bomber hungry for some reason. Would have done much better going for me, but hey, whatever. I can't really knock the hustle. He is still just going for bombers. Okay, and I am just totally missing this guy in every opportunity. But thankfully, MG151 cannons are, in my opinion, among the best in War Thunder. They are truly just fantastic cannons, so long as you can actually land a hit. What I'm going to do actually in the interim, I'm going to go for this A7M1. He does not even know I'm here. And we are going to get a hit eventually. We got ourselves some severe damage. Now we can go right back up here on this P51. And hopefully actually get a hit. If I can help it. Apparently not. Something's going wrong with my am I a big old idiot here? I'm not entirely sure, but it kind of feels like I am. Something's happening where I'm just not able to hit this P51, and I'm not sure what it is. We have ourselves a crit and an assist. That was just bonkers. Is my aiming really that bad? Was it really that bad? I'm not entirely sure. But as you can see, at least facing fighters, this thing has more than enough firepower. I mean, you're still getting something like 2.4, 2.5 kilograms per second of burst mass, and not every piece of burst mass, not every KGS, so to speak, is the same, right? Like, the KGS on this, like, the burst mass put out by these MG151s is superior than similar burst mass, because the ammo that you get, than, you know, you might get from some sort of other 20mm. So it is an excellent, excellent cannon. It looks like we might need the accuracy, like the cannon upgrade, to do a little bit better with this. So, again, I'm not entirely sure what the dealio may have been. I just wanted to get myself an assist. But it is what it is. I'm not going to even try to go for this guy. And also, if you guys don't know, what I like to do in my stock Spaded videos is bring these, you know, into realistic settings. So I'm not just going to show you guys like, oh, here's my 12 kill match or something. Like, if it happens during a match, sure, I'll show it. But I'll show, you know, a pretty standard match, which is a pretty standard match. 2 kills, 1 assist. I like FW190s. I like a lot of German props. So this is a pretty typical result. I'm going to see if I can hit him. Again, the performance on this thing really isn't that great, but it doesn't help when my gunnery, my aerial gunnery, is just terrible at this point. For some reason. So, in general, what I could tell you is that, yeah, I mean, this thing definitely performs decently enough. It does turn pretty well relative to what you would expect. I'm going to try to do something stupid here. I don't know. I thought my team was still here to pull this guy off of me. So let's see. Is he going to start firing anytime soon? Yes, he is. We turn a little bit. Then we turn up. And then we die. So that said, overall performance is not bad on the FW190 A-5U2. This thing, you could tell they took out some of the armament. I feel like it would be better with even just those 2 LMGs. That would provide at least some additional firepower, even though the LMGs kind of suck. But otherwise, you know, it's okay. It doesn't really have good climbing performance fully stock. Its top speed is okay. But its turning time is surprisingly good for an FW190. So I said, let's get into a halfway spaded match, see what we could do, go from there. So here we are about halfway spaded with the A-5U2, and what I can tell you thus far is that its performance is actually, it feels a lot better than you would think for just having the engine, like for basically having about half of the performance mods. However, its armament feels a bit lacking, as one might imagine. With just 2 I mean, it's not bad. It's just not really great, especially when you have apparently terrible accuracy like what I have. But, you know, otherwise, I mean, so many other facets of this vehicle really work out quite well. It has good maneuverability relative to FW190s. I'm going to just dive down here and then climb up, turn a little bit. Okay, we managed to get out with just a little bit of a scratch. But in general, this vehicle has good performance. I mean, it's got good characteristics, rather. I'm not going to say good performance. Performance is okay. It's not really all that good relative to what one might want, but for a 4.0 BR aircraft, I suppose it's fine. I could see the rate of climb, once I get this thing fully spaded, being very average, which is okay. You know, like, you can't, not every aircraft is going to be like this crazy fast speed demon that, you know, can climb up to 5,000 meters and essentially have an afterburner. That's not going to be the case in most instances. However, I do feel like that does hold this thing back from its goal, mainly not having that. Like, of course, if you're going to be a boom and zoomer, so like FW190s, especially at and around this BR, they're known for boom and zooming. And so, what happens when you don't have that rate of climb? Well, maybe you have a little bit of a better rate of, like, you know, slightly better armament. Well, you know, I mean, it's not that you can't boom and zoom with this aircraft, but at the same token, you know, its rate of climb doesn't really help it, and so it's like, when you drop down from whatever altitude you can actually get up to, then you would hope that you're bringing down, like, tons of firepower, and again, while you can take down fighters pretty easily with this aircraft, you're not doing it as easily as you might hope, especially for something like the Butcher Bird, like one of the most well-known, incredibly well-armed fighters from World War II. And, you know, it does fine. But you're also talking about two 20mm cannons as opposed to 4 plus 2 LMGs with the A4 variant. But again, if there were any 2 cannons for me to have on this, the MG151s would be those 2 cannons. So, in general, what I can tell you thus far is that I'm pretty happy-ish. Not really. This feels very milquetoast, might be a way to put it. If I want to kind of use a critical word, it's not like anything incredible, it's not anything bad, but I feel like there are some performance enhancements that this vehicle features, such as the slightly better turning radius, such as the slightly higher top speed that the A4 lacks. So if you're looking for a slightly better performing fighter, and you do not mind the loss of 2 cannons and 2 LMGs, then yeah, you know what, this is, thus far, it's not bad. It's just very plain feeling. I don't know. So that said, we're currently halfway spaded, barring any further kills. I've already gotten 3 in this match. Any further action, we'll just get into the fully spaded match, see what we could do from there, but like I said, I mean, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know, this plane just doesn't feel special. It feels like a plane that is supposed to be a slightly better fighter, but you still have aircraft like Spitfires and all that kind of fighting it anyways. So anyways, I'm done talking. Let's get into the fully spaded match. That is the exact sort of behavior you never want to see happen. 4 people trying to take down a PBJ, and they are not getting it done. Oh, there you go. That took about a minute. I only started recording this well after. Anywho, so here we are fully spaded with the A5U2, and this vehicle has been... oh, wow. Okay, they just took him down. Oh, but he took out somebody on my team. That's precious. But that said, this vehicle has been... You know, I'm a huge fan... I'll just preface. I'm a huge fan of, for the most part, German aircraft, right? I love the BF-109. I like pretty much every variant of the BF-109. I can do real well with, whatever. I, for the most part, like the FW-190, just not as much as I do the BF-109. Just because I find that the FW-190 is a bit heavier, it's a little bit clunkier. Despite typically having a better armament, it just really, it doesn't suit my playstyle as well as the BF-109. And so, with this vehicle, you're taking away a good portion of that armament. Now, bear in mind, the MGFF cannons, again, I mentioned it before, they aren't good. Insofar as 20mm cannons are concerned, they just are not very good. But, by not having them, you're at a disadvantage relative to the A4, at least insofar as being a fighter is concerned. And so, man. Ooh, can I actually get a hit here? Probably not. There we go. Finally, I had to use up a large portion of my ammunition. But by not having those cannons, or even just the LMGs, I feel like it does put me at a substantial disadvantage, again, compared to the A4. And so, for the additional performance that you get, essentially, from not having those things, like, of course, okay, there we go. Like, of course, that better maneuverability, like the enhanced rate of climb, top speed, things like that. I just don't really know if this is worth it. Because even though you do get better maneuverability, holy crud, I am terrible versus 0. Someone get this guy off me. Yeah, I just don't feel like, for the most part, those benefits are worth kind of not neutering yourself, but close to it. And so, because of that, yeah, I mean, I do like this vehicle insofar as it's not bad, but insofar as BF or FW-190s are concerned, this is, relative to BR, one of the, at least insofar as air-to-air is concerned, one of the worst that I've played. And again, I mean, it's not that the cannon armament can't do well. It's just I don't really see enough of a benefit elsewhere in terms of rate of climb, in terms of turn time, in terms of even top speed. I mean, top speed, yeah, there is that additional benefit that you get. It's pretty substantial, something like 30 kilometers per hour faster. However, that's not really going to help you out too much for the most part. And so, I don't know. It's like, unless you need to use this vehicle as a CAS aircraft, I just don't see where it's going to be a huge, huge benefit. Is it bad? By no means. But insofar as FW-190s are concerned, it's very it's not bad, it's not great. It lacks the firepower that they're known for, and just overall, its performance is good, slightly better than the A-4, but I just don't feel like it's good enough where it makes up for it. It's probably not even all that. It's not even close to being good enough to make up for the loss of the firepower that you get air-to-air. But that being said, I'm just going to do one more real quick thing here. It's going to be probably only a few seconds of gameplay here, maybe a minute or so. CAS, because of course this can carry bombs, rockets, whatever else, and we'll just take it out in that role real quick and then finish up this video. And of course, here we are finally in a CAS loadout, because that's what makes this thing, I guess, maybe worth it in a way. I mean, realistically speaking, there are actually, around this BR, this is one of the few BRs where it's like, Germany actually has a pretty decent amount of CAS aircraft. And, I don't know, just having this there means something. I'm going to go for this fighter before I lose track of him. Like, yeah, this is nice, but I just don't really feel it's necessary. It's not really, like, all that great of an aircraft insofar as CAS is concerned. Like, it'll carry this 500 kilogram bomb, which, you know, obviously that's what I'm going to go with. I'd rather go with the 500 than, like, the Waffengranaten or whatever the heck the other things are, because it's good. I feel like that's going to be the most worthwhile option that you can carry. Let's see if I can knock this guy out. It looks like perfect. And then maybe, you know, I might have went a little too low there. Not so. We have ourselves a nice 500 kilogram bomb kill there. So we have an air kill and 2 ground kills. Very nice. So what do I think about this aircraft? Well, in general, I feel like if you're looking for a fighter, the A4 does just fine. You know, if you're a huge fan of the FW-190s, sure, you know, this isn't bad. It just, I don't know. Like I said, the two 20mm cannons, it does the job. It does. But there's not a ton of wiggle room all the time. And, especially if you're going against more, like, heavily armored or, like, larger targets. And so, in my opinion, the only real reason to get this thing is if you want a fighter that can carry a 500 kilogram bomb and destroy a KV-1 tank or something with ease. That's pretty much it. I mean, like, this is that, or you're a collector or a completionist, whatever the case may be. Like, it's good, again, versus air, but, you know, it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel good enough to the point where I would say, oh, yeah, this is better than the A4, because, in my opinion, not really. You know, I really don't feel like it's necessarily better than the A4. It has its merits. You know, it has slightly better performance, has slightly better turning time and whatever else. But the planes that, like, the BF-109 is a better fighter for turning. You know, it's always going to be. It's going to be better than this ever could be. And so, I don't know. In my opinion, should you get it? Yeah, if you're a completionist or if you need a fighter to lob a 500 kilogram bomb, yeah, this does the job. But otherwise, I would just say keep this one kind of unresearched. Again, not bad. It's just not really a plane that I feel like everybody might benefit from. By the way, thanks so much for watching. I'll see if this guy can be shot down by my base. Maybe, maybe not. But thanks for watching, everyone. And I'll see you all on the other side. Not too bad. Not too bad. Just okay. Take care, everyone.